Combine news, combine news, combine news. Yesterday, we talked about a bunch of the defenders that the Bengals have met with at the 2025 NFL Combine and some of the offensive players with the tight ends, mainly Tyler Warren we talked about. But today, new reports have come out that the Bengals have sat down with two of this year's two top offensive draft picks. Well, skill position offensive draft picks, both ranked number one in their respective position. But before I jump into both of those reports, both of those meetings, and the circumstances at which we would draft them, don't forget to subscribe to the Bengals Digest channel. It is officially March now as I'm recording this at 1 in the morning. And we're 3 subscribers away from 1,000, so I count it as a win that we made it to 1,000 subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough for all the love you've shown this channel. It means so much to me. Absolutely blows my mind how fast we got to 1,000. And I can't wait to see us get to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and continue to grow the community of Houday Nation. I love talking back and forth with you guys in the comments, so please keep doing that. And like always, only 18% of you watching right now are subscribed, so please do me a favor. We're on the road to 2,000 now, so I can't thank you guys enough, but you guys don't like me talking too much, so let's jump right into the report. You're seeing that correctly. Yes, Cincinnati Bengals met with top wide receiver prospect at 2025 NFL Combine. That prospect is Ohio State wide receiver Emeka Egbuka. And if you are familiar with the show, you know that I'm an Ohio State fan. So when this popped up on my phone, I was very excited. I love Emeka Egbuka. Such an amazing player, such a selfless player, which I think Cincinnati could use a selfless player in their building. I think sometimes, especially in NFL, you get to not saying the Bengals are this, but you can build a team that is built upon a bunch of players that just want to play hero ball. Emeka Egbuka is the definition of the opposite of a hero ball. He's the most selfless player I've ever watched. His whole career, he has been not overshadowed or undervalued, but has always been wide receiver 2. He has never once been the true wide receiver 1 for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Even this last season, coming back, Jeremiah Smith was that wide receiver 1. Before then, it was Marv, and then obviously before that, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave were there. So Emeka Egbuka never really shined. He always did because of how great of a player he is, but he never shined in the aspect of being the true number 1 target. But regardless, he's always had 1,000 yards, breaking records, being the most consistent and selfless player there is. This season, Emeka Egbuka had 81 receptions for 1,011 yards and 10 touchdowns, averaging 12.5 yards per catch. Definition of selfless player. So, wrong one. I would love to see Emeka Egbuka in the stripes next season. Oh my goodness, I would love to see that. The reason, and I speculated, I haven't really talked about it much. I talked about Emeka Egbuka before on the channel, but I've talked just like with friends and in my personal life. If for whatever reason, if T. Higgins is not a Bengal next season, expect Cincinnati to draft Emeka Egbuka at 17. That is my prediction. If for whatever reason T. Higgins is not a Bengal next season, and I would say how it sounds, I would give it like a 70-30% chance that he would be a Bengal. 70% would be, 30% wouldn't be. But you never know how contracts, how all those work out. Especially lately when Duke Tobin was in a press conference and said he wants to do whatever he can to make sure T. Higgins is a Bengal. Then T. Higgins tweeted cap on Twitter, or X, sorry. So maybe there is something going on. I do expect Cincinnati to tag T. Then we'll see where that goes, if that's a trade or tag just to have more time to extend him long term. I don't know. But if T. Higgins is not a Bengal next season, let's say he walks in free agency, which would be the worst case scenario, but let's say Cincinnati trades him, right? Or they tag him and someone has to give us a first-round pick if they don't match the contract. We would have a serious need in the wide receiver room. Serious need. Really, listen to this. If we lost T, it would be Jamar Chase, obviously, best wide receiver in the league. But then our wide receiver 2 would be Yoshavash, right? Andre Yoshavash. I love Yoshavash. I'm not saying he's a bad player. But then after that, it's nobody. We don't know about Jermaine Burton. We don't know what's going to go on with Jermaine Burton, if he's even going to be on the team next season. Zach Taylor and Duke Tobin have both come out saying he has done absolutely nothing to earn a roster spot next season, so we don't even know if he's going to be there. Then the next guy would be Charlie Jones, who we drafted as basically a return specialist. So we would really have 2 wide receivers, and that would be it. Wide receiver would be a significant need, for Cincinnati if we lose T. Higgins. And I think that replacement would be Emeka Egbuka. I think that would be the clear and obvious pick at 17. I think if we lose T, without a doubt in my mind, we're going to Emeka Egbuka at 17. And through the report that we actually met with Emeka Egbuka, that's kind of confirming in my head that's Cincinnati's front office thought. If for whatever reason we can't sign T. Higgins, they're like, let's talk to Emeka Egbuka, see if we like Emeka Egbuka, and if we can't sign T, then we'll go get Emeka Egbuka. Maybe I don't even know what they're thinking. Maybe they think Emeka Egbuka will be a cheaper option, and he's still a great player, so we can just replace T with Emeka Egbuka. I don't know. Not saying that is the case, but that could be some of the scenarios the front office in Cincinnati is going through. And I think Emeka Egbuka would be a good replacement for T. I really do. I've watched him a lot. Like I said, he's a selfless player. He would not care if Jamar Chase gets the most targets in a season. I don't think he would care at all. But that's why I think Cincinnati met with Emeka Egbuka. So don't be in the comments being like, oh, we don't need offense, we need defense. And I know we need defense. But if T. Higgins does not sign a contract and he goes somewhere else, wide receiver is probably the biggest need on this team, 100%. And I know how bad the defense was, but the wide receiver would be the biggest need if T. Higgins leaves. And think about this. Zach Taylor just hired Al Golden, right? Al Golden had to game plan against Emeka Egbuka for the national championship. He saw him live. So Al Golden has a very good read on who Emeka Egbuka is personally, but also who he is as a player. So there, you might call that recency bias, but because of that aspect, I wouldn't be surprised if they really like Emeka Egbuka. I think Egbuka will be there at 17. And another great aspect of it, if we were to draft Emeka Egbuka, we would be basically stealing Emeka Egbuka from the Steelers. So if we can steal anybody from the Steelers, then that's a win in my book. But that's all about Emeka Egbuka. I love Emeka Egbuka. So we'll keep a close eye on that. We'll be talking about T hopefully soon. We hear something on what Cincinnati is going to do. And if it is moving on from T, then we'll be talking about Emeka Egbuka a lot until the draft in April. But moving on, another report. Cincinnati met up with another offensive guy. Cincinnati Bengals met with Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty at the 2025 NFL Combine. Yes, we met with Ashton Jeanty, who I thought should have won the Heisman in college football last season for the 2024 season, but that's just my opinion. Ashton Jeanty, obviously running back. He had 374 carries for 2,601 yards, 29 touchdowns on the ground, and averaged 7 yards per run. The man is a beast. Go watch his highlights. If you're not a college fan, why? Because it's freaking amazing. College football. Any sport really. College baseball, college basketball, college softball, college women's basketball. Everything in college is great. But anyways, beside the point. Ashton Jeanty is the dog. He literally stands like Michael Myers in the backfield. That's his nickname, Michael Myers. And he is a pinball, kind of like Cam Skattebo, who we talked about a few episodes ago in the running back room. They are both pinballs. It is insanely hard to bring them down. Ashton Jeanty is a pinball, just like Cam Skattebo. Insane. This is the lesser likelihood of drafting him at 17. I would say Cincinnati has more odds of drafting Emeka Egbuka than Ashton Jeanty at 17, but that would be a huge pickup for us. Cincinnati last season, they struggled run game wise, and obviously with our offense, we are more pass heavy, but we do need to have the run established, so the running game gets established early, which opens up the passing game. Because if you have the linebackers focusing on the running backs, especially a running back like Chase Brown, who can get open in the receiving room, that takes away some of the linebacker and some of the coverage on the wide receivers, which obviously helps the passing game. So I would not be mad at an Ashton Jeanty pick at 17. Having Ashton Jeanty and Chase Brown in the backfield would absolutely be crazy. I think that would be probably one of, if not the best running back duos in the league, because I think Chase Brown is extremely underrated. He's been there for 2 years and really hasn't been officially the starter yet until probably this next season. So it's going to be fun to watch Chase Brown, but I think another running back to help him, and I think I've talked about this before in the running back room video I did. Offenses work better, especially the run game, when you have a 2 running back system. I think that's just fair. Ashton Jeanty would be a good pick. I would like to see Cincinnati set up meetings with Trey Hendrickson, Quinshon Judkins, Cam Skattebo, and Ollie Gordon. Those 4 players, I think Cincinnati should set up meetings with, because you could draft them a little bit later. Ashton Jeanty, I love Ashton Jeanty, but I don't think Cincinnati is going to, not waste, but I don't think they're going to spend their first-round pick on a running back. I just don't think it's that much of a need that they would draft a running back at 17. I would expect them more to get a running back late. Like Trey Hendrickson, you could get second, maybe third round. Quinshon Judkins, probably second round. Cam Skattebo and Ollie Gordon, you could probably get fourth or fifth round. And that's where I lean, more towards Cam Skattebo or Ollie Gordon in the fourth or fifth round. But Ashton Jeanty is a good start. And I think both of these reports, looking at Emeka Egbuka and Ashton Jeanty, it proves to me that Cincinnati does see the lack and meeting with Tyler Warren yesterday proves to me and shows me that Cincinnati is still recognizing the holes on the offense. Yes, we have a very effective offense, and we are always going to have an effective offense when Joe Burrow is running that offense. But that doesn't mean there's not holes on that offense. One of them, obviously, if we lose T, wide receiver will be a huge hole. The running game needs help. The tight end room needs help, especially if we aren't able to sign Mike G. And we haven't heard anything about Mike G in forever, so we have no idea what's going on in that tight end room. But with these 2 meetings, it shows me Cincinnati is actually looking on both sides. They're not just solely focusing on defense, which should be the main focus, and I agree on that, but there are still holes to fix on the offense. When you're worrying about an NFL team, you don't worry just about one side of the field. You got to worry about both. So we should be worrying about the defensive side of the field, but we also got to worry about the offensive side of the field, because I think there's a lot of things that need to be fixed on the offense, especially especially the offensive linemen that we have talked about. But once again, if T. Higgins is not a Bengal next year, expect Emeka Egbuka at 17, and don't expect Ashton Jeanty to be in stripes. I would love it, but unless he falls for whatever reason, if NFL teams allow Ashton Jeanty to fall to the second round and Cincinnati has the chance to pick him up, then pick him up. But I just don't think I would be willing to spend my 17th pick on a running back when we have Chase Brown. That's just my opinion. But I would love to see Emeka Egbuka in the stripes. Jamar Chase and Emeka Egbuka, kind of similar players. But Emeka Egbuka is kind of a combination of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And Andre Yoshevach is kind of turning into that T. Higgins type player, where he's the wide receiver you throw to on third or fourth down. And he was making huge catches, clutch catches late last season. So I obviously don't want to lose T. Higgins, but if we did lose T. Higgins, Emeka Egbuka would be a very suitable replacement for T. Higgins. But thank you so much for watching this video. There will be more videos, obviously, every single day, talking about players at the Combine who we're meeting with, who you should be looking out for. Watch out for those 2 players. Watch out for Emeka Egbuka. Watch Ashton Jeanty just because he's an amazing player and it's fun to watch him. But look out for Cam Skattebo and Ollie Gordon on updates on them. But also, come back to the Bengals Digest channel every single day, where I will be posting a video every single day talking about whatever is going on in Cincinnati. Don't forget to subscribe to the Bengals Digest channel. Once again, thank you so much to getting to 1,000 subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video. Share this video with your other Bengals friends, because Bengal football is better together. Comment down below on what you feel about these 2 players. Especially, I want to hear what you guys have to say about wide receiver from Ohio State, Emeka Egbuka. Comment that down below. But for the Bengals Digest channel, I'm Carson Lokey. Good night, or good morning, or good afternoon, whenever you're watching this, and God bless.